Chris, monitoring feedback in law enforcement is always a critical aspect of the job. What are you doing in Mountain View to help measure feedback from your residents?
I'll give you a couple of different examples. One is a very high level. Every few months, we'll send out a survey across our different platforms. And being someone who hates doing surveys myself, we keep them very short. 3 questions, right? What do you like what we're doing? What do you not like what we're doing? And what do you want to hear more from us? So that helps us direct, we learn things, because for us, we didn't know that, the residents a while back wanted to hear more about crime stories and things happening in town. And we thought the opposite. We thought, people don't really want to hear what's going on crime-wise in their neighborhood. We don't want them to think there's more crime, et cetera. And so we shift, right? But there's also another great example is in the months following the George Floyd incident in Minneapolis, we obviously heard and we're doing a lot of dialoguing with our residents. And we actually created a virtual academy called MVPDX, loosely patterned after TEDx talks, where they're really short, quick hit discussion programs done over Zoom. And we took a cross-section of a lot of the concerned residents and community, many of whom were critics of the police department, and formed a cohort. And we basically, it was a high-touch environment where we went in, and the first thing we said was, we're not here to preach at you. We're not here to tell you how we do anything. We're here to listen, and we're here to just answer any questions you have. And we covered a host of different topics. And a really interesting dynamic takes place in that mindset, because it goes from the national very quickly to the local dynamic and talking points. And some of the quotes we heard from kind of self-proclaimed activists that didn't quite like us very much, they said, we really wanted to hate you coming into this, but we really can't right now. We didn't quite understand what you did, how you got funded, how, this even came down to how city budgets work versus county budgets, because, there's a lot of cry for mental health training, everything. Well, we know working in government that much of that is covered on a county level, and you can't defund a city department to influence something on the county side. It's a lot of those types of discussions. So that approach has worked quite well for us in the law enforcement sector.
Just out of curiosity, how has the attendance been in your MPD-VX? That's very cool.
We purposely tried to keep it small. This first cohort was 10. And what happens is when they graduate, so to speak, they stay with us and they help form the second cohort, which we're about to start in a few months, which then help, so over time we will build this alumni that not only serves as kind of community stakeholders, but people who have interacted very closely with us and can kind of speak on our behalf if need be.
Are you doing it simply or focused mostly on law enforcement activities, or is it citywide issues?
This one is just law enforcement, and especially on these topics that are right front and center for the nation right now: racial equity and justice, mental health response, things like that.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's very creative and innovative way of engaging your residents.